everyone, and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. This is just a quick tutorial video on how I use my Canon Selphy printer. The first thing I do obviously is plug it in. I never unwrap that cord because I think it's messy and I like to put things back nice and neat. I'm just going to be installing my paper tray, which they're going to be a live recorded video, like live speaking in the second half of this, but I just thought I'd let you know that right now what I'm doing, because I did not mention this when I was talking live, is that there is a Wi-Fi password or a number that comes up on your Canon Selphy screen, and then on your phone you do have to access your Wi-Fi and put in that password in order to connect your phone to your Canon Selphy. And then you can go ahead and go into the Canon Selphy app and you're ready to connect. So it allows you to directly print from your phone. So basically what you're going to watch in the next little while, I won't describe too much of it because then I go into so much detail and you'll be like, Monica, you're repeating yourself. But when I first recorded this video, I didn't know how I was going to do it because I didn't even know if I, was going to do it properly, to be quite honest. But it really turned out awesome. A second side note, because now I've done it and I know, I did insert my SD card into the Canon Selphy and it does work very well. And I use the menu and the edit buttons to kind of print out other photos, which I will be sharing with you in some of my layouts and I'll show you as we go. So you can insert your SD card directly into the Canon Selphy and then be very patient and just play with the menu and the edit buttons, and then your arrow buttons where you see it says copy and it has a plus and a minus. Just notice those that will add check marks to your selected photos off of your SD cards. So we're going to go live now. Yeah, so just stay tuned. I will be explaining more things in detail, and yeah, take care. Alright, so what you've been watching is my Canon Selphy printer printing away, and at this point I'm halfway through about 20 photos that I've selected. And I didn't say anything in the beginning because I don't really know how to use my Canon Selphy. So I'm just reloading the paper, and what I do know is that you never want to touch the top of the paper. So I'm just touching just after the perforation. I don't know where the focus needs to be, but you're gonna have to forgive me. And so I just slide it into my cassette and then I close it. I don't do anything to adjust it, I just slide it in there. And then you've got to be kind of aggressive, firm, not aggressive, but firm until you hear all of the clicking as you're kind of doing this squeeze and push in action. I did change my ink thinking that when I changed my paper the first time, but now I know that one ink cartridge is enough for 2 of the paper packages, right? So now I just slide that right in there and I love it. It's very, very easy. And now it's just gonna resume printing my photos. So basically, to get these photos, these are why is it that I never know how to use this ruler? What am I looking for? Yes. So these are literally 3.5 by 3.5. Let's say they're a little bit bigger than 3.5 by 3.5. And when I edit them in whatever software you have to edit your photos, so it's not in this Canon printer app that I have right now. So this app that you see printing here on my cell phone is the Canon picture app. But before I get to this stage in a different app, which I will show you after, because I don't know what name I have. I don't know if it's Pick Frame or something like that. It's Insta Collage or whatever one you have. It does not have to be a specific one. I pick the ratio 1:1, which gives me a square that looks like the Instagram square. That's because I like my photos to be this size. And because these are, pictures that I take with my camera or my cell phone. The lighting sometimes, you know, this is an indoor dinner place. Like literally we went to dinner and it's the darkest corner at the restaurant booth. So for changing this to black and white, which is my theme for my Felicity Jane kits that I'm going to be scrapbooking with. So all the photos that you see me printing here, I will be using them with my Felicity Jane kits. Hopefully you can hear me over the Canon printer. But yeah, it's good for you to hear how loud it is too. I absolutely love this printer. I love the quality of the prints. I love how long it takes to print. It's perfect. It's not too long. I've been sitting here for maybe, I'm gonna say 20 minutes. I'm enjoying some YouTube videos in the background as I go about it. So some of these photos I've actually blown up in my previous app before printing them. So for the quality of taking it with my cell phone and then blowing them up and making them a little bit larger, I think it does an amazing job picking up on, you know, the whites and darks and stuff like that, which with my old PictureMate, I didn't have that. It was a little bit more grainy. I did enjoy my PictureMate very much, but it was inconsistent. This back and forth motion, I believe this paper has some sort of infused ink to it as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing I don't like is that, you know, there is no set instructions for the Canon Selphy, right? You're using apps, you're using your phone. I think the next thing I'm going to try is using the SD slot here at the front, and I'm going to try and load up some of my vacation photos directly onto the Canon Selphy. I don't know how it will handle it, so I'm kind of curious to do that. But other than that, I hope I made it clear. It's basically an app that I have. So let's say it's the Insta Collage app, which I 100% believe that's the one I have. So yeah, go to your app store or whatever you have. I do have all Apple products, so if you have an Android phone, you're just finding the Insta Collage, because my husband has a Samsung phone, which is an Android phone, so I know he does the same thing as we do. Then you go and you change it. You can edit it, you can change it to black and white, you can do whatever you like with your photo in that app that you have. And then it'll just save to your images, right? It'll save to your photo collection. And then using the Canon Selphy app for printing, this app allows this to connect Wi-Fi to each other. In that app, when I go into it and select my images, which is basically touch select, it's very basic. It's not complicated because I can't handle complicated. And then, like I told you, I've literally, the max I can select is 20 images, which is what I have right now. This is number 13 out of 20. And I love it because it's instantaneous. I love that it's got its own ink cartridge, right? That is just to support the paper. So it's like literally 1 for 1, right? You've got one photo that's going through and there is enough ink to do a total of 108 photographs. So to me, I love that because again, with my PictureMate, it wasn't like that. I would get a bunch of photo paper, the Epson photo paper, and then I would get ink, which was very expensive, but then I would get maybe a third less photos of the quality for ink. With the Canon Selphy, no, it's not like that. You know how many pieces of paper you have, you know exactly how many photos you can print. So to me, that's another thumbs up right there. I did play with some filters on this one, and this one you're seeing, it's a picture of my sister's new baby, which I'll be talking about when I do these layouts because it's such an exciting event that happened to our family. And I love it. This is like a white wash kind of, I call it, I see it all the time on Instagram, or I see it all the time when looking at people's pictures, and this is that kind of white clean look that everybody has. It looked really harsh on my cell phone when I was picking it, but I think here in person I love this. It's very modern, it's very clean, because I didn't want to take away all the color on all the pictures. Like I said, it's supposed to be a black and white theme, but not all of them are going to be like that. So Yeah, I hope that helps. I didn't want to bore you guys. Plus, I don't want to be like the technical Sal. Yeah, that's what I call them, the technical Sal. I really don't know. I don't know all of these buttons. I've never used all of them. It's basically app-based. And I hope that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I should go back. Hang on. So you see I've done, these are 2x2s, 1.5 by 1.5. Oh, this ruler. I'm such an old-fashioned gal. Okay, so these are literally 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. They're not technically 2x2 squares. And this is when I have, let's say, for example, this is my larger photo that belongs to the other 6 photos that I took as a family. But I don't necessarily want to have, you know, 6 or 4 or 5 layouts about the same thing in the same size. I love doing this kind of strip. So basically I pick the same app, so my Insta Collage, but instead of just editing my photo, I pick the collage. So I pick a 4 square collage. Yes, I think all of us have done this, because if I've done it, you've done it. I'm the last of the Mohicans, people, so I know you know what I'm talking about. And in those 4 squares, you then have a choice to pick your photos, and then you pick 4, and they go into those squares, and you can use your hand, just like on an iPad or a tablet, and you move to adjust your photos, or you don't adjust them. They will get to the right size. And then what I have to do is again pick that ratio. So I'm still clicking ratio because I can get pictures that are a little bit longer, so they can be 2.5 by 1.5, but I like them to be even because then I can cut these out pretty close and use white cardstock to create an illusion of a film strip, right? Because this piece of paper or this photo paper is not going to give me all the spacing that I want, so let's be realistic. But it can, I mean, you can use this border and just cut out these 2 and then add them down, right? But I love that. I love the effect that using the collage feature, I can get these photos. And you can do, you know, the collage where there's 2 side by side, but there isn't 2 square side by side. I hope that makes sense because I did that for another one, I believe. And I really wanted to show you that, and of course now that I'm going through it, it's going to be so hard to find. Bear with me. Ah, here it is. So it's one of my son getting his hair cut, and of course I'm going to do a larger photo with his haircut before school, but then you see how there's 2 colored ones on the bottom. Again, another feature that I really love about the Canon Selphy is that it allows for the variation from black and white to color seamlessly. It's very smooth, and so again, taking advantage of the 4 squares that I could pick, and I know I wanted another 2 by or 1.5 by 1.5 squares, I just picked whatever I wanted. So you can do 4 different ones if you wanted to. If you wanted to do it for your travel journal, you can pick, again, like I was trying to explain, the 2 side by side, which I believe will give you like a 2 by 3 type photo, right? Which is awesome. And again, yes, guys, I continue to say it. Obviously, the Instagram size is my absolute favorite. It's one that I enjoy scrapbooking because it's a Monica style. So find what works for you. Find, you know, what makes you happy. I hope that this is a good enough example. I know someone had asked me, you know, leave me questions or comments below if you want me to explain it, but really, it's very basic, right? Get your app. You need 2 apps, one for editing, one for the Canon Selphy. Edit your photo whatever way you want to in the first app. Then with your Canon Selphy app, choose your already edited photo and go to town and print it, right? It's basic. I'm so excited. I don't know why I picked 2 of these. Me and my little sweetie. He's so cute. He's so handsome. All right, I'm so excited. I'm so inspired. I'm inspired by these photos, right?